Hardcore. It's brilliant wall and floor resurfacing that's fast, flexible, durable, and antimicrobial. And here's how you and Stuart Dean can be brilliant at installing the ProFormance series. As you begin, assess your situation. Determine what preparation steps you need to establish a clean, sound, solid substrate. Some grinding may be necessary. As with all epoxy products, there are environmental considerations like humidity, product storage, substrate, and work area temperatures. Consult your MSDS and PDS sheets to understand the expected pot life, working, and cure times. Hard Cove will smooth the irregular surface of a block wall by filling voids. While this step may not be required for every project, Hard Cove will provide a smoother finish. Use a small, low-speed mixer to mix Part A with Part B to a uniform consistency. Make sure the sides and bottom of the mixture are mixed until there are no streaks. Mixing should take no more than 2 to 3 minutes. Use a putty knife or margin trowel to apply the mixture to the voids. Use a hand grinder with a 1/8 inch diamond blade to cut a slot 3/16 inch deep along the cove path. When using Hard Cove in a cove application or in an interior vertical or horizontal seam, you must use a cove trowel. At 70 degrees, your pot life is no longer than 45 minutes. To smooth out, ensure your putty knife or trowels are kept clean of excess material. You can dip them in water or denatured alcohol. Once cured, sand if necessary for a smooth finish. Hard Floor allows you to apply a 1/8 to 1/4 inch self-leveling solid color coating to the floor. Mask walls and any poles or fixed objects that are to be left in place. Use a hand grinder with a 1/8 inch diamond blade to cut a slot 3/16 inch deep along the appropriate borders, drains, and transition points. While grinding the slot around a drain, create a beveled edge. Use container A to mix your product. Pour Part B into Part A and mix thoroughly for at least 1 minute with a variable speed drill. Make sure the sides and bottom are scraped and mix until you have a uniform consistency. Now add Part C, the bag of SD dustless hard fill, and continue mixing until you have a streak-free mix. Again, scrape the sides and bottom to ensure complete mixing. Overmixing with a high-speed drill can reduce pot life as well as introduce more air into your mix. Also, never add any solvent to the mix. Lay out your mixture in a ribbon across the work area. Spread the hard floor mixture using a 3/16 or 1/4 inch V-notch trowel or an epoxy gauge rake. Spread evenly from the start point to your walls. Use special detail around the drains. Wearing spiked sandals, back roll with a porcupine roller covering the entire floor. Then back roll again with a 1/8 inch epoxy roller. If the project requires an acrylic flake or aggregate, apply the flakes evenly to the curing surface every 750 to 1,000 square feet. Once you can walk on the floor, unmask the drain and trim as needed. Hard Cure is a moisture remediation primer, the most dynamic product in the Hardcore system. Hard Cure creates adhesion with the existing substrate for use with other ProFormance series products, or as a standalone product under other flooring. Use a small low-speed mixer to mix Part A with Part B to a uniform consistency. Make sure the sides and bottom of the mixture are mixed until there are no streaks. Mixing should take no more than 2 to 3 minutes. Roll on Hard Cure using a less than 1/4 inch epoxy roller. Allow to cure fully before moving to the next step. Refer to your PDS for cure times. Installing Hard Coat will create a seamless finished surface on walls and ceilings. Hard Coat can be a replacement for FRP panels. Begin by protecting all areas below and around objects. Prime your horizontal surface using Hard Cure. Prime your vertical surface with Hard Prime. Mix the tinted resin, Part A, in its container to distribute pigment that may have settled and break up any clumping. Pour the entire contents of Part B, the hardener, into the container with Part A. Mix thoroughly for at least 1 minute with a variable speed drill until you have a uniform consistency. Be sure to scrape the sides and bottom and make sure the paddle is large enough to create enough turbulence while mixing. The paddle should be at least 4 inches in diameter when mixing in a 4-gallon bucket. Keep the ratios of Part A to Part B consistent and never add any solvent. The pot life is 20 minutes and you have a working time of 40 minutes with this mixture. Roll on with a less than 1/4 inch epoxy roller and apply liberally. Use a cut-in brush for corners and around objects. Wipe up all your drips or runs. After a full cure, apply a second coat. Hard Shield provides an additional layer of UV and scratch protection to any of the surfaces in the Pro-Formance series. Use a small low-speed mixer to mix Part A with Part B to a uniform consistency. Make sure the sides and bottom of the mixture are mixed until there are no streaks. Mixing should take no more than 2 to 3 minutes. Roll on Hard Shield using a less than 1/4 inch epoxy roller. Allow to cure fully before walking on. Refer to your PDS for cure times. Heatcrete is a high-heat, resistant epoxy concrete, which you will apply to a 1/4 inch thickness. A minimum 2-man crew is required. One will mix the material while the other applies it. Combine Part A, Part B, and the powder pigment into a 4-gallon container. Use a drill with a large mixing paddle and mix for 20 seconds. Add in half of the silicone sand and mix for an additional 30 seconds. Pour in the remaining silica sand and continue mixing for another 30 seconds. Pot life is 15 minutes at 72 degrees. Pour, then trowel to a flat, smooth finish. Back roll to eliminate trowel marks. Stuart Dean's Hardcore Pro-Formance series, the finest in floor and wall resurfacing, restoration, and protection.